Time now for Reporters Roundtable. To put the headlines in perspective, Ayan, Bud, and Berna Dean Steptoe, Channel 8's political producer, is here for this segment each week. And Ayan, let's start with you. There will be a Democratic presidential debate on Wednesday. This is the first one. There hasn't been a Texan in the race. Julian Castro did not qualify. Can he survive without being on the national stage?
Boy, it's going to be really tough. I mean, he still has kind of readjusted his strategy to focus on 3 states, including Iowa and Texas and Nevada. But you know, the perception is when you don't make the stage for a debate, it really kind of hurts your fundraising ability and your national exposure. So there's a chance, but it's going to be really tough for Castro.
Bud, does he make it to Iowa?
You know, I think it's a good question, but you know, the next debate is in a month, December 19th. Right at the heart of Christmas shopping season. I don't know how many people are watching any of these debates now. About half these people will be gone in the next debate, though. It'll be down to about 5. So everybody else is going to be just hanging on.
And before we came on, Berna Dean, Ayan made a good point that Tulsi Gabbard is in this debate, and she was not in the previous debate. So I guess there is hope for Julian Castro if he's still trying to get into the national stage in December.
Well, there is hope, but when he received most of his when most of the people saw him, he received most of the attention was during those debates. And he won't have the debate. And as the previous statement was that he could survive, but I don't see how he's going to be able to do it.
And Jason, nobody's going to attack him and get him some name ID the way Tulsi Gabbard benefited.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely. So
yes.
I am curious, what are you watching for in this debate?
Well, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, the impeachment inquiry is going to end up being kind of a dominant point in this. But also, we've had another school shooting, in Southern California, and that's going to be something that's really going to kind of stir up a lot of debate about, what many perceive as inaction. So I think that's going to be a key point too.
Let's shift off to some local politics here. Bud and Kay Granger, for the first time in a long time, it looks like she's going to have a very tough re-election. What happened? What's going on? Why is she falling out of favor?
She has Chris Putnam's running against her. He has a lot of money, much of which he donated to himself, loaned to himself. He has about $250,000 plus his own personal loan to run against her. He's a Tea Party guy from Colleyville, which isn't really in the district. Folks in Colleyville are upset. There's this train that ran through Colleyville from Fort Worth to DFW. It ran right by Chris's house. A lot of people in Colleyville are upset, so they're donating a lot of money to somebody who isn't even their congresswoman.
Berna Dean, is Kay Granger in jeopardy?
I don't think so. Bud just mentioned that her opponent, most of the money that he has, he loaned to himself. But she hasn't made anybody that mad in her whole district, and she is very popular. I think that the far right will challenge her, but as far as winning or knocking her off her seat, I just don't see that happen.
Chris, what you need to worry, I'm sorry, Jason, what you'll need to worry about is if another Republican steps in and they try to triangulate her into a runoff.
And you're shaking your head, Ayan. You agree that's where the vulnerability lies?
That's absolutely right. I agree. If it gets to a runoff, and then all bets can be off a little bit, because that's going to be a low turnout vote, and so that could really put her in trouble.
Yeah,
she's not going into a runoff. Keep in mind, even Trump praised her.
Oh, indeed, and took some pictures, Bud, I believe, as you shared on Facebook.
Took her to the ballgame. Trump has been her best friend and Chris Putnam's biggest enemy so far in this campaign.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Ayan, we appreciate you joining us as well this week. And thank you for watching, too. ABC's This Week begins in just a moment right here.